Greetings, exiles. Let's talk about the new Trial of the Ancestors League that was announced recently. And based on the information we have, let's try to figure out if the new league and changes to it will be hit or miss. I'll start with the mechanics of the league. In a nutshell, it's a kind of auto-battler, where we need to build our team and then fight in a tournament, where for every victory in a battle we get a reward. And for winning a tournament we get a big reward. Any TFT enjoyers? At first glance the new mechanics look clumsy, complicated and slow. We need to assemble a team, items for it, then participate in battles, and also win a tournament to get a good reward. At the moment we have very little information about the league mechanics and it's too early to make any conclusions, but the way the developers implement it will determine whether it's hit or miss. I don't want to panic ahead of time, but so far it looks like a miss to me personally. But I hope I'm wrong and we'll have some fun mechanics waiting for us. But the new tattoos we will be getting for participating in the tournament look very powerful and they will definitely make builds stronger. Also, some other items that will be added to the game look interesting. For example, this one here. With it, we get ultimatum options for crafting and I hope this will give us the ability to make very strong items in the new league. Just imagine, now we'll be able to predict the outcome of Fracturing Orb, and if we're not happy with it we can change that. Chris, I hope Hanakora's lock won't be as rare as the mirror. Isn't it? Although the new unique items we were shown will look very bad, I'm sure there will be some very strong ones among them, because the developers like to show the strongest things closer to release. So the rewards in Trial of the Ancestors for me is 100% hit. Also, I hope that the developers have learned lessons from the last league and in 3.22 we will be able to get more loot from the league mechanics. Although to be honest, I miss the simple mechanics where we just press a button, kill monsters, and get good loot for doing it. Next, I would like to discuss the Chieftain and Guardian rework, and to be honest, I wouldn't say that after the rework they became better. For example, Chieftain has some interesting options. And now we can get a lot of defense and an additional link for our main skill, but honestly I wouldn't call it very strong. At the same time, some of the ascendancy skills look very weak. For example, this one here. In theory, it looks strong because it gives us a chance to get more damage. And for example, if we place a jewel here, we can get more fire damage. But it's actually a trap. Because when we take this skill, we get only an opportunity, and in order to increase our fire damage, we have to spend additional skill points. And what is this? I don't even want to comment on it, because in Path of Exile, if you stand still, it's 100% death. I won't discuss every new passive skill in detail because it would take too long, but right now this rework looks like a big miss to me. 14 new support gems is always a good thing, and I'm sure at least a few of them will be able to complement and boost some builds. Also, I would like to draw your attention to a new support gem returning projectiles, so rest in peace Vengeance Cascade. So this is also a hit. 16 new Keystone passives definitely hit. Because now we can customize our Atlas passive tree even more. Personally, I like the fact that in Path of Exile we can customize the endgame to our preferences. And the more options the better. Sanctum is back, boys. And that's great news, because it's a really interesting mechanic and not a bad alternative to maps, especially considering the fact that the developers have redesigned Sanctum. Now it takes into account the defense of our character, and for example, if I have a lot of armor, it will make my character more survivable. Also, to access this content will be a separate item that can be sold or bought. Plus some other nice changes. Plus, if the new league mechanics are bad, we can always play Sanctum, and instead of Trial of the Ancestor it will be Sanctum 2.0, which is overall pretty good. So that's another hit for me. So far this is all the information the developers have shared with us. But as I said earlier, this is not all the information, and I'm sure that the most interesting developers have not shown us yet. For example, more nerfs and another useless buff for Cleave. Just kidding. But jokes aside, if you look at the overall picture, we have more hit than miss. I realize that this is all my subjective opinion, and for some people Sanctum will be a big miss. But this video is about my opinion, and I realize that many will disagree with it, but still, this is my video in which I share my opinion with you, nothing more, nothing less. So far, Trial of the Ancestors looks like a hit to me. We have to wait for more information and of course patch notes in order to make a final verdict. That's all for now. See you in the new videos.